What's up, everybody? Thralls here once again. I'm Necrotic.
I'm Jammin John.
And we have yet another album review for you, and one that I've been looking forward to because this is the debut album from this band, and I heard about them a little while ago. They were awesome, and as soon as I heard of them, I was like, oh man, this is 100% a John band.
That's very much the truth.
And yeah, in terms of introducing him to new bands, these are like the easy ones. Like, oh, here's a little prickling of dissonance in the atmosphere, like, oh, love it.
I'm
Man,
home.
feel these nipples.
Man, I feel great.
Anyway, we're going over the debut full-length from Ritual Mass, Cascading Misery. This also comes out on the 5th of September on 20 Buck Spin Records. This band formed in 2016 in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. This is their debut full-length. I got into them with their compilation, It Ever Hurts. This is a compilation of their EPs and demos and such. It's gross, it's visceral, and that is accurate for this too. Baseline, this is just some absolutely disgusting, dark, cavernous, brutal death metal. The members of the band are kind of anonymous. Like, I went to look them up on the archives and then just had their initials, and then when I tried to look up a little bit more, it was just their first initial and their last name. So yeah, outside of a couple of grainy pictures of the entire band, they're relatively anonymous, and you know, that kind of adds to the mystique of this band because my God, this is heavy.
I don't even think heavy fully describes it. It's suffocatingly heavy. It's like, at any given moment, the entire world is just gonna fall and crush you wherever you are. I first got into these guys today with their debut album, Cascading Misery, and let me tell you what, Nick was correct. This is right up my alley. Every single moment of this is right up my alley. In fact, we were talking about it. My happy place, seemingly, for whatever reason, is in a very evil, caustic, dark, heavy place. And like, I don't know. I don't know if that means something's wrong with me or what. I'm going to talk to my therapist today and actually figure that out.
Fundamentally broken.
I tell you what, man, this record is me. If there was ever a me record to be out there right now, in today's day and age, it is this album, 100%. 20 Buck Spin. Really that label with the exception of the album Bleed, which I don't necessarily understand. You know, there's got to be one turd in every punch bowl, right?
No.
20 Buck Spin, though, they hit the nail on the head with this. Now, first of all, this record is produced by Mr. Greg Wilkinson of Autopsy and Deathgrave, and his touch is on literally hundreds of albums right now out there. Greg, do you sleep, man?
No.
I feel like you don't sleep because there's no way you're just continually putting out great albums. But yeah, I mean, the record sounds, pretty much huge. Just gigantic layers of the densest atmosphere in the whole world. But at the same time, you can hear everything.
Yeah.
So I don't have any complaints.
Everything is well separated, and it's just monolithic sounding. The opening track, Obsidian Mirror, after you get past these huge droning synths of doom, weirdly enough, the first thing I thought of after hearing a couple of them, and this is for the nerds out there, Star Trek, the motion picture, Beecher. Yeah, the big blue cloud with the... Yeah, but anytime it rolled into the frame, boom.
Yeah.
Yeah,
wow.
And then it fucked up shit. That's exactly what it reminded me of. Yeah, big nerd reference there. But then you get into these just cascading, twisting tremolos and blasts. Man, this guitar tone is just a wall. Like, it greets you with, like, every ounce of filth it possibly can. There's even, like, pick slides that are kind of peppered in the riff itself. It gets into, like, more droning melodies. You get these twisting counter harmonies, lumbering, lurching kind of death doom sections. It's just an absolutely gross opener, and that kind of, like, sets the stage for a lot of this. But with this album, there were a lot of, like, twists and turns that I wasn't expecting. Like, at its core, like, you could definitely compare this to bands like Incantation, Drawn and Quartered, Mortiferum. I would even say, like, a good deep cut to would be Accidental Suicide. But throughout this listen, it kind of moves in and out of that territory. Like, that's the baseline there. Like, you know, definitely some Morbid Angel in there, too, because death metal band these days doesn't lift a Morbid Angel riff. It's just, you know, something that happens. But this will go into, like, distant death metal territory, death doom, and surprisingly, even like some more like brutal death moments.
Yeah, Immeasurable Hell, it's where they start really like thickening up the riffs. Because the first song does a great job of kind of opening up the atmosphere and kind of setting the tone for the overall, you know, darkness of this album. And you do get some chuggy moments, but they're not as heavily laden as they are in Immeasurably Hell, because this song is downright brutal. We're talking about like suffocation, nightmare, stuff like that. Big droning chugs, these big like haunting mid-range screams that sit in the background. But Immeasurable Hell is just, it's fucking brutal. It's savage as all get out.
There is, I mean, what you could almost call a slam, a very cavernous slam. Yeah. But it has, like, again, that big chromatic chug. There's a lot of atmosphere around it. You know, the guitars on here, like, when they are not just riffing your face off, which is almost every conceivable second on here, there's a lot of, like, additional, like, droning atmosphere and these wailing, moaning, just evil-sounding leads. Like, every lead on here is, I mean, I wouldn't call it, like, full-on, like, atonal, but they're not, like, tuneful in the sense of, like, generating a lot of like pretty melodies. Like they're just kind of crawling and slithering. It's like they told whoever was doing the leads on here is like, listen, we want the sound of you just coming home and finding your dog dead right in front of you. Okay, that's how miserable we want that lead to sound. Like, yeah, no, I could totally do that. Way to put that fucking image in my head, though. But when this album isn't just like, again, like evil as hell with all its like just menacing, dark atmosphere, like this album feels like you're catapulted into a black hole. But again, these brutal moments keep showing up, and it kind of opens up this album a little bit. Like, this doesn't sound like a band that is like 100% aping Morbid Angel or Incantation or anything like that. There's enough in here in terms of like dynamics to mix it up to kind of get it just like a little bit outside of that realm. Like, I wouldn't call it like a worship band at all. Frozen Marrow in particular, they dial back a lot of the tremolos, and this is where it gets like just chuggier than hell. Like, this is where I hear like a lot of suffocation and then like maybe mixing in like a little bit of Hate Eternal in there. In fact, I think I wrote down, like, this sounds like it was written by a cave-dwelling Suffocation. Like, the band hadn't discovered fire yet. And they just, you know, ooga-booga'd and hit, like, fucking sticks on rocks and shit.
In fact, the opening riff alone, that triplet chug at the beginning, is pure gnar. Now, this song opens up a little bit more in the sense, first of all, the drum work in here is great. The cymbal work, there's this big part where it's got this cool, like, turnover groove going on that I found to be very entertaining. But this is kind of all over the map. You get a bunch of, like, really awesome harmony tremolo sections. Multiple chugathons. I tell you what, another cool thing about this guitar tone is while it's dissonant and grimy and cavernous sounding, it's also one of the beefiest, chuggiest, heftiest things on the face of the planet. Like, that guitar tone is perfect for multiple camps. There's good uses of like droning dissonant melodies for the atmosphere. There's a lot of like big open sections as far as like the space occupied. Like, it's obviously a huge space, but it's fairly, you know, packed in tight with just walls and walls and walls of tremolos and chugs and atonal melodies and Jesus.
Yeah, the first two tracks, Immeasurable Hell and Obsidian Mirror, both make like good use of like those apocalyptic tremolos where at a certain point it just sounds like the loudest TV static ever, just kind of whirling about your eardrums while the blast beats go off. But they wisely don't like lay on that too much. Like, this doesn't overdo the dissonance. In fact, dissonance is used quite effectively as like an atmospheric trope and also in the melodies. And they balance it out with just bone-crunching riffs, like just disgusting riffs. Looming Shapeless Entity in particular, it's a little bit more groove-laden. You get some like very classic Morbid Angel, double time grooves, like stuff you would hear on any Morbid Angel album, really. Well, all right, maybe -1. You get a good mix-up on the vocals, too, which the vocals in here are awesome. And they were, I believe, recorded and produced separately by John Kerr of Majesties. They are kind of that right level of cavernous where they don't echo too much. And occasionally they kind of move around the song. Like, for the most part, they're pretty out in front. Like, maybe like back a little bit. But occasionally you get these like swirling, echoing, agonized screams. And they usually come at these like more open sections of like, you know, like distant melodies and such. And I really like the contrast between like just the bludgeoning heaviness where every space is occupied by the most aggressive sound they possibly can generate, to these sections where you can really hear stuff kind of broken down and get that really cool cavernous effect, especially in the drums. The drums sound so damn good. That snare sounds like it was right up against the mic and it just whacked that thing.
Punchy, but a good raw, natural tone to him too, with just the right amount of reverb to make every hit pop a little bit more and like resonate within the song.
And again, throughout this album, you get the sense that they kind of dip their toes in different styles of death metal, which keeps this album flowing really well. Like, honestly, there weren't any tracks on here that ran into each other. You do have like slight stylistic differences in songs that kind of break them up just enough, but at the same time, it still feels very cohesive. Like, it sounds like the same band across the board. And again, like, it just has this inescapable darkness. And they're great at maintaining that level of just like pure evil on here in transition. One transition in particular stood out to me just because I love the effect. Looming Shapeless Entity. There's a part where, you know, it's kind of, again, like a more mid-tempo song, like a lot of like heavy double bass, but it's, you know, just kind of groove-laden, gnarly riffs. There's a section where the lead comes in, and that final dive bomb, it drags it down into a whole slower part, and then they just write out this riff at the end, which is just pure stank. Like, I'm surprised my face is able to fucking smile.
Really, to be honest with you, there was a point, you get 4 or 5 songs in, there was a point where I noticed that my scowl hadn't left my face, and it was there for so long it was starting to hurt.
Yeah, no.
I just said to myself, like, I gotta change faces, and I tried to level it out a little bit, and then that next fucking riff hits, and you're just like, ugh.
Yeah. Imagine him like looking at me with that scowl after 2 tracks going, "This is my favorite band."
I mean,
he said it.
I did. I said it. He was like, "What do you think?" I was like, "This is my favorite band."
Been a fan since.
Been a fan since about 45 minutes ago. Holy shit! But like, it's that vibe throughout the record. It doesn't really let up until you're 33 and a half minutes in. The last track, Disquiet. 14 minutes and 32 seconds, and I think they touch on every camp and every road possible that they've taken throughout the entire record. Again, atonal harmony is just absolutely gross. It gets set up with this big like Death Doom vibe. Churning, swirling, snarling riffs, just absolutely gnarly. I mean, you got big Savage Morbid Angel moments, you've got big Savage Suffocation moments. The part I wasn't expecting on the end of the record is a huge Funeral Doom section.
Yeah, a very sudden shift too. Like, everything up to that point is insanely heavy. Lots of cool riff changes in there. It's murky, it's evil, it's also brutal. But you get this big dropout and then clean, I wouldn't call them shimmering tones. They're pretty fucking dark sounding. But yeah, the album kind of just, takes a very sudden stop and starts welling up this whole different vibe. Like, it goes from, again, like Morbid Angel to bands like Mournful Congregation or Esoteric or Spectral Voice. Yeah. The tones ring out, they're like just individual little notes. You get some harmonies that are a little bit more atonal. The drums take a little while to kick in, and when they do, it's like a beat every other Tuesday.
Yeah.
It's a very slow build at this point because you can kind of feel them like slowly, very slowly moving towards like what is going to be just a hellish crescendo at the end, and that does happen. But I will say that they kind of draw out this part a little bit too much. Like, I was kind of wanting a little bit more to kind of build up, like in terms of like the layers. Like, the layers that built up were like just like wafer thin layers. Like, all right, there you go. Like, is that really a layer? I feel like you're still kind of doing the same thing. On my way to the record store today, I got stuck in traffic. And this was kind of like the pace of it. I was moving my car at the pace of this. Now, I love the vibe. I love the atmosphere. But, Funeral Doom occasionally has a habit of falling asleep in the cemetery. Now, it does wake up violently.
Yes.
And slowly again. But it is, massive droning riffs. It sounds just absolutely distraught, broken. Like, it's one of the most dismal parts of the entire album. And then behind that, you have this welling of static to the point where this static kind of takes over the song. Like, it fades in and you go from a Funeral Doom song to, I don't know, like literally a jet taking off in the airport, like right in front of you. Like, okay, no, that's loud.
The ending sounds like, again, like everything in the whole world welling up and crushing you and snuffing out all the light and all the hope out of everything, and just, that's it, you're dead.
Yeah. Imagine like the gates of hell, except the gate drags against the fucking floor and just it's a slow drag.
You gotta really fucking pull at it.
Yeah, and it's just groaning the entire time. It's that. It's definitely that. Coincidentally, though, that is my only real complaint, is that one moment where it kind of drags. The rest of this, again, like across the board, there's a lot going on here, even though it stays very firmly in a comfort zone of death metal that I absolutely love.
Yep.
I wasn't expecting, like brutal death metal elements, maybe a little bit of death doom, but, that mix of like the dissonant atmospheric stuff and just bone crunching riffs. Like when this shifts from like just, blunt force trauma riffing to the atmospheric stuff, like it really does change around the song, and they don't do it in such like a haphazard way where, again, it feels like they're just trying to cover as many bases. These songs are very well constructed. They flow well. And as an album, too, this flows very well because you get a lot of stuff that just doesn't run into each other.
Yeah, well-written, entertaining songs that stand out. There's definite favorites on this album for me. There's stuff that I will go back to, even if I didn't write my notes. There are tracks that I would be like, yep, that one for sure.
Well, it's your favorite band.
Immeasurable Hell being one of them. But I mean, like, I didn't think at any point really, up until that Funeral Doom part in the end, I'm really picky about Funeral Doom still, because, I don't want to take a nap. Especially after such a brutal record. But, like, nothing ran into anything, and just from track to track, I was just like, yeah. Like, they brought it, really, on every single track. So, overall, this record gets 4.5 stars from me. I fucking loved it. Loved every second of it. Nick was abundantly correct when he said, this is a John band. This is right up my alley. Huge, gnarly, disgusting, evil atmosphere. This album is fucking heavy. Just bone-crushing brutality. Yeah, it's dark, it's evil, it's dissonant. Like, I had a great time. In spite of the fact that my face legitimately hurt 4 or 5 songs in, just had a great time. This is, for me, everything I love about death metal. Just a lot of times where I feel like I just wanted to reach out and punch somebody, and I'm not a fucking violent person, but man, this record really brings it out of you for sure. The pits for shows at this is gonna be, we're gonna stand near the back. My knees can't do it anymore.
Oh, they're gonna like turn off the lights and throw snakes in the pit.
I mean, they could. This is the setup for it. For sure, 100%. If you're into bands like Primitive Man, Knoll, Mortiferum, Suffocation, Nightmare, Cruciamenum, Incantation, the list goes on. If you're into a fan of most of the bands that I'm a fan of, you're probably really going to dig this. I would recommend checking it out for sure.
I am also going to give it 4.5. Outside of, again, like the Funeral Doom section kind of dragging out a little bit, I really don't have any complaints. The production here is absolutely perfect for what they're going for. It is so unforgivably heavy.
Yep.
And it's not just in terms of like the sonic level of it, the tone of it, like it is heavy in terms of its vibe, its atmosphere. The riff work on here is awesome. I like the fact that it kind of mixes up things. Like this doesn't, again, come across as like incantation worship or morbid angel worship. It's a mix of a lot of different influences, and they showcase it well in their really awesome transitions. This album has just weight to it. Like, you feel this album. It's dark. It lurks in every corner and every shadow of your home. It watches you sleep, and it will murder you. It's definitely going to murder Jammin John, because this is his favorite band now.
That's fine. That's my favorite band.
Yeah. You are the first of willing sacrifices.
I'm getting a shirt, guys. It's happening.
Okay, you better order that before they murder you. Yeah, this kind of just does everything right for this style. And again, like I feel like saying this style is kind of glazing over because there's a lot of different stuff on here. Again, if you're a big fan of Morbid Angel, Incantation, Immolation too. Like, there's definitely some Immolation moments on here. Just cavernous, disgusting death metal, but also just kind of like death metal in general, and even like some death doom. Check this album out. Absolutely banging debut. So, if you enjoyed this review, give it a thumbs up, and if you are new to the channel, subscribe, because we do stuff like this all the time. We also have memberships. They're only 99 cents, and our lone perk is doing a members-only live stream, which I believe we're going to be doing one Saturday evening.
I believe so.
Yep, as long as, a meteor doesn't crash into the Earth, or, the whole planet just catches on fire for some fucking reason.
Which, at this point in the game, could happen.
Don't rule it out.
No, man.
Either way, membership is the main way to support the channel, and if you would like to join up, there's a join button down there that you should definitely hit. Otherwise, this album will fucking sneak into your house and murder the shit out of you in a ritualistic, demon conjuring thing.
just
like it's going to do to him.
I'm good with it, man. I'm going to buy a shirt and whatever. If this is how I have to go. If this is the last album I hear before I go, I'm good with it. This was an absolute banger. Anyway, even if you don't smash that membership button, it's okay. We're not going to be upset. We still offer tons of metal content, non-members only live streams, which I assure you we will also get back to, that are just as equally stupid as the members only live streams, because that's how we roll. Beyond that, discography rankings, we finally have a date set once again for At the Gates. Assuming that there's no meteor that crashes into the earth, or we don't catch fire, or this album doesn't murder me in my sleep, we will get back to that. We have in tandem with it the Thralls of Metal Greatest Hits, where we pick the greatest songs out of the discographies we rank, which is going to be a whole lot of fun in upcoming weeks as we do it yet again for Sepultura. Outside of that, tons of other content coming, and if you've been a member of the channel for a while, you know what the hell we're talking about. And if you're brand new, welcome. Tons of metal content. Thank you for being here. Thank you to all of our subscribers, all of our family, our friends, everybody that has helped us make this into something way bigger than we ever thought it would be. It's a pleasure to be down here reviewing albums for you guys and talking a whole bunch of shit all day. We appreciate you. Thank you.
Yeah, you guys absolutely rule. Tons of content coming in the future. So one more big thank you because of all your rulage, and we will catch you later.